Good evening, good afternoon, hello, good night, wherever you are, welcome. Um, it is no longer Heart of Christ Ministry because if you saw the last video, we talked about moving to uh, transforming the ministry further along and doing all inclusion ministry, which I'm still um, I guess I'm along the lines of figuring out what the layout and all this stuff is going to be. So, but in the meantime, you know, um, I want to thank you guys first and foremost for supporting Heart of Christ in every way that you have, and I think it's just terrific to look back on all the amazing things that were completed and done with that ministry. And 2022 is a new year, and as my inner guidance always says, no 1 or 2 years are alike. And I really feel like all inclusion ministry is going to really open some doors and really do some amazing things as well. So I'm excited about that. But for the time being, all you got is Reverend Sean. And today I got a fantastic message because it's something that I've been working on myself and is near and dear to my heart. And, we're going to talk about wealth today. But before we get into the true concept of wealth, a few things here, right? So just because the ministry is transferring over doesn't mean that you can't write to us if you feel the need to. Any questions, any prayer requests, any counseling, help with anything, feel free to write to us at seang04@gmail.com. That's my direct email, so it's going to get right to me. Like I said, any type of questions or inclinations of anything that you have within reason, and I'll respond to you as soon as I can. Okay. With that being said, if you have benefited from anything that I, ministry, whatever it is, have done in the past, feel free to donate to the cause. Of like the ministry is done, but we're actually transforming into a new ministry. So this will go to that ministry. So like I said, if you feel that we have benefited you or given you anything of value in the past and you want to pay it forward, by all means, please sow a seed. Venmo, Heart of Christ Ministry, PayPal, SeanG04@gmail.com. Cash App is available now, and Apple Pay and all that other good stuff. So we got options if you decide to give. Okay. So with that being said, let's get into our message. Okay. Yeah. Defining wealth in your own words. Flourish with a deeper meaning behind wealth. Okay. Now, a lot of times when we think of the concept of wealth, instantly it goes directly to money. Okay. Now, money's a part of it, but wealth is total well-being in every area that allows you to fulfill your purpose and whatever else you desire to do in this life. That is my concept of wealth, right? Might be similar to yours, might not be, but today we're going to dive into it and really come to a conclusion that turns into a conviction that helps you to understand the truth behind wealth. And why do I ask this? Because here's the thing. I was watching a video that I did a while back, actually a couple of weeks ago, and I was talking about, a scripture that mentioned, in all thy getting, get understanding. And the truth of the matter is, when you understand something, you are so much more proficient and effective at what you're doing, and you're able to accomplish things on a higher level when you have an understanding. So today's message is really about getting the understanding of what wealth is to you, right? Because it's different for all of us, right? For some people, it is, having a gazillion dollars, right? Other people, it may be a relationship. Some folks, even more, is just being healthy because they've been unhealthy their entire lives, right? But truth of the matter is, it can go even deeper than that, right? Because those are just resulting effects of the causes of what we have in our own consciousness, which is our thinking, feeling, acting, and all that amazing stuff that we've learned about, right? So we really want to dive into this because I promise you, if you take the time to really describe and explain what wealth means to you, you're going to increase. I don't want to say your chances, I want to say your opportunities of it flourishing in your life, right? That's where the title comes up. Defining wealth in your own words. Flourish with deeper meaning behind wealth, right? And before I get into this, the first one bullet point we got, you know, I've had a journey with money that has just been exhilarating. It's been challenging. It's been filled with growth. It's been filled with anything you can think of, right? Hardship and everything else. And the one thing I understand is, out of all of that, is that money has become more of an ally. It has become more of a resource, a tool to help me to discover who I truly am, right? And who I truly am by why did I animate as a human being? What reason, purpose did my soul have for animating as I am today, right? And that's helped me to really dive into discovering what wealth is for me. So that begs the first question: what is wealth to you, right? So the beauty of questions is, especially introspective questions, is that they really allow us to get to the bottom and deep aspects of our mind, of our feelings, of our consciousness. It's a better word to put it. They help us to get to that place to where we can really discover what truth, right? Because truth is the most important aspect that we have, right? Without it, we find ourselves going down paths that lead to nowhere. And we want to make sure that we are doing everything possible to roll down the path that is perfect for us. And here's the thing: everybody has a different path, right? No person, no two people have the same path. No two people have the same type of actions that they're willing to take, right? So when someone says that you're supposed to be doing something a certain way, it's not always true, because what works for this one doesn't work for that one, right? And that's an understanding that, like, it's an ability to understand that although we are connected, although we are linked through the concept of oneness, we are all different forms of individuated expressions of God, that is, okay? And when we know that, we know, okay, like fingerprints, no two people have the same fingerprints. No two people have the same soul purpose. No two people are going to feel, right? And this is the interesting yet exciting thing about this. No two people are going to feel the same way, the exact same way about wealth. Okay. So the question is, what is wealth to you? Okay. So we just talked about, gave you my definition in a sense. It's total well-being. It's the ability to be able to do all that you want in this life while serving your purpose and enjoying your life to the fullest, right? That's my definition of wealth. So what does that encompass, right? We always have to get a vision, because our mind thinks in pictures. What does that look like? Well, I'll run down the line. For me, it's freedom, right? Freedom of time, freedom of expression, freedom of creative expression, freedom to love whoever I choose to love, freedom to go wherever I choose to go, freedom to work with who I choose to work with, right? And so on and so on. And that freedom is what I feel resonates with me the most when I think of wealth. But I also think of wealth as having a defined, close-knit, communicatory, say that word 10 times fast, loving relationship with God. That, to me, is wealth. I've often said that my intuition and my faith are my greatest wealth. Why? Because if everything else were to go to complete crap, I would still have that, because the true wealth is inside of me, right? So as I give you those examples, the number one thing to be, I don't say concerned with, but be aware of is it all starts in here, the mind and the heart. It starts in the consciousness first. So when I say freedom, I'm not saying freedom along the lines of I'm going outside of myself to look for something to give me freedom, right? That's not the case. What I'm saying is, okay, how can I establish this within myself first and then have it mirror out into my reality? Because once again, true wealth comes from within you. It's not going to have anything to do with anybody or anything outside you. And although that may seem nuts at first, when you really think about it, that's how life is unfolding anyway, right? We are giving the universal mind thoughts, feelings, emotions, right? Impressing it with convictions, and it's mirroring that right back to us, right? That's universal law. So it's important to know thyself, as I want to say Plato, I think it is, right? You got to know thyself, and you got to know what it really means to you, right? So the reason why it's so important to know what it means to you is because what happens is from there, you're able to create it in your life. Clarity is key, right? You can't move towards something you have no idea what it is. And if you do get there, chances are you're going to, be all out of sorts when you do finally reach that point. But because this is a topic that is important to all of us, even people that deny it, it's important to all of us. We have to understand what it is, right? And so finding that out, right? Finding that out shows you number 2 here. How can you live a wealthy life now, right? How can you live a wealthy life now? Well, here's the thing. We said it wasn't just money. It could be travel. It could be creative expression like myself. It could be freedom. It could be a loving relationship. It could be time to spend with your family. It could be anything, right? Truth of the matter is we're divine beings, so we're not limited in what we feel truly matters to us, right? And that's the beauty of it all, is that I can ask myself, how can I live a wealthy life right now? Well, you know what? Something as simple as taking walks at night around my building, because walking does this amazing thing to my brain where it releases all these relaxing and calming and happy hormones, and it gives me time to really think about my life and my creative process and all these beautiful things, right? That right there is an example of how I'm living a wealthy life. When I decide to go to the gym and work out and really get my body moving and getting it into shape and doing the things that make me feel vibrant, radiant, and just full of life, that's wealth, right? Journaling every night or every morning, that's a sign of wealth, right? Having more than enough money to take care of everything that I need to take care of, that's wealth, right? So it's like getting creative. And I did this exercise. I took out my notebook and I just said, what does wealth mean to me? How am I living a healthy life? Healthy is part of wealthy, right? But how am I living a wealthy life right now? And I came up with an immeasurable amount of things that showed me what wealth means to me, but showed me how I'm already living a wealthy life. That's something there that we always need to look at, because we find ourselves, and I speak from experience, always looking to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing and the next thing, right? And what tends to happen is we forget to enjoy what's happening now, right? We forget to enjoy what's happening now. And so we forget what's happening now. And then it's like, oh shit, okay. I just missed everything. And then, I've had the experience of having retrocognition where I look back and I can see all the value in an experience that I kind of let slip through the cracks, which has helped me to be more mindful. But, it's one of those things where if we stop for a moment, focused on gratitude, focused on everything that's present in our lives, and just realized, okay, man, how can I live a wealthy life right now? Am I living a wealthy life right now? And a lot of times you'll find that you're doing it in so many ways. The point to drive home in this video is that it's just so much more than money. Money is a part of it. It's a big part of it, right? But it's so much more, right? Another definition I like to add to the point is balance, right? How great is my life if I have balance all across the board, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically, financially, in my relationships, right? If I have balance all across the board, that's wealth in itself. Why? Because I'm not out of sorts. Peace of mind. If I have peace of mind going into anything, excuse me, that's wealth in itself because I can better approach life in an easeful, calming, effective capacity if I'm poised and at peace, right? So you got to think, how can I live a wealthy life right now? And it might be something as simple as taking a walk, reading a book at night, right? Treating yourself once a week to something you really enjoy, whether it's going out to eat or doing something you really, really feel good about that resonates with your heart, right? What is it? How can you live a wealthy life right now? And I guarantee you, when you do that, truth is, you realize that you're already wealthy. You're already living that wealthy life. You're already experiencing it in so many ways. And the joy that comes from that when you really recognize and pinpoint and understand, wow, I'm already wealthy. This is amazing. It's going to take your life to a whole nother level. It's going to take your life to a whole nother level of experience. And it's one of those things that ultimately you'll realize you've been living it for a long time. You know, I was always under the impression that I wasn't wealthy until I reached a certain financial standpoint, right? So it was like 5 million in the bank, 10 million in the bank, 25 million in the bank, right? And I thought to myself, okay, so then I get there and then what, right? What happens after I get there? And then it's one of those questions like, you can't really necessarily answer it. But once I got to the place of, you know what, I'm going to live as fully as possible what makes my heart sing. And what makes my heart sing? Freedom, peace, true love, healthy body, right? Unlimited, unbridled creative expression. Ding! What I'm doing right now, right? All these things make me feel so wealthy. And then you know what happens? The most beautiful thing happens is that it begins to produce monetary wealth. It begins to produce other resources to help you to do more of what you love. Because that's how the universe works. It takes what we offer it and it reflects it back on to the scene of reality. And it's a beautiful, beautiful experience to see that. And that kind of plays in to number 3. Like, if I know I'm already wealthy, what does that tell the universe? You're already wealthy. So what does that mean? Oh, he's feeling wealthy. He's come to an understanding, a conviction of feeling wealthy. So what does that mean? I have to give her exactly what it is that she's feeling, right? And before you know it, circumstances, they reflect someone who is living wealthy, right? And it is powerful. It's amazing what simple shifts can do. It's amazing what simple questions, when you ask yourself about the truth of who you really are and who you really want to be, how enormously big the smallest shift can be just by asking the first question, what is wealth to you? What is wealth to me? I can dive deeper into being wealthy. And when I have a wealthy experience, total well-being is the result of my reality. And it doesn't take long at all, because once you've convinced yourself, right? Because everybody is wealthy in some form, right? Some it may be money, some it may be relationships, some it may be their children, some it may be their career, whatever it may be. We all have it. It's just a matter of recognizing it. Okay. I wanted to do this message even before I had gotten started with the crossover, you call it, because I think it's important, especially at the beginning of the year. We're about 16 days in to the new year, and we have to know every time you go into the new year, you always want to be aware of what it is you're searching for, right? And what I found as a mystic is that all we really want is within us, right? All we really care about is the connection to the divine within us first and foremost. And then from there, there's an overflow that allows us to be creative, that allows us to be open, that allows us to be true to ourselves, right? But it comes from fulfilling that desire for needing something outside of ourselves that's actually fulfilled from seeking God, seeking the divine within. So, but I wanted to do this message because it's important to know what you're looking for, right? It's important to know what you're looking for. If it's more creativity, define what that means, right? Define what more creativity is. Is it the ability to cook multiple nights a week? It's the ability to go take an art class. Is it ability to step into more acting, to do an improv, to do, painting, whatever it is? Define it. Okay. Because when we define exactly what it is that we are searching, or not searching for, but what we're trying to discover within ourselves, it shows up easily. The universe loves clarity. When we can be clear about what we really want, you'll see your desires come at a lightning speed, right? At a lightning speed when you have clarity. It's just when you're confused, right? Or when you're vague, when you think you want something, but maybe it's something that somebody else said you wanted, and you think, okay, that'd be good to have. No, think about, what do I really want? What does wealth really mean to me? What would make me the happiest of seeing wealth, I guess I'm trying to say is, what would make me the happiest? What form of wealth would make me the happiest, right? And it could be a relationship with the divine, a relationship with, starting a new religion, starting a new, spiritual practice. It could be anything, but we don't know until we ask and we find that deeper meaning. All right, guys, thank you so much. It's been wonderful. This is the first message of 2022. One of many, I'm excited to tell you. But yeah, keep this in mind. Check this video out every now and then when you get the opportunity to come across it. And I just want you to just be aware, right? You can do the same thing with success. You can do the same thing with love. Find out what it means to you, because when you find out what it means to you on a soul level, like that, you can manifest it. You find it easy. You'll find it flowing into your life and helping you in all ways, in the very best possible way. So with that being said, guys, once again, thank you so much for joining us today. If you have any questions, any inclinations, any prayer requests, whatever we can do to help you, please feel free to write to us at seanG04@gmail.com. Thank you very much. And if you have found that this broadcast, this episode, this message has helped you in any way, shape, or form, feel free to donate. Venmo, Heart of Christ Ministry, PayPal, seanG04@gmail.com. Zelle is actually the same as PayPal. And we also have Cash App upon request. So we get cash all kinds of ways. But anyway, that seed will go into the, I don't want to say the startup, but it will go into the process of getting the new ministry back up and running, which I'm very excited about. All Inclusion Ministry is going to be great. So I'm thrilled about that. But thank you in advance for your seed. Once again, Venmo, Heart of Christ Ministry, PayPal, seanG04@gmail.com. Zelle's the same, seanG04@gmail.com. And please give from the heart, give because you feel that it's something good for you to do. And I think, that's always paid for. That always comes back to you multiplied. I've seen it in my own life tons of times. So with that being said, guys, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for hearing me out. Take this information, use it to your advantage. I promise you, you will not be sorry that you did. With that being said, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a pleasure. Take care. All right.